Okay, so the purpose of this video is for you to practice putting half cells into an electrochemical series. So if you did an experiment, you'd have to link these half cells together and then look at the direction that the current's going. So the direction of the current will tell you which way the electrons are moving from and to. So if you linked the silver half cell with the tin half cell, you would find that the voltmeter would point in the direction of the silver. So you can see the voltmeter over here. Where's my mouse? There it is. The voltmeter over here is pointing that way. So it's going from here to here. So it's going from the tin half cell to the silver. So that means the electrons are going from here to here. So what reaction is happening at the silver electrode? Okay, so reduction's happening. Reduction is the gain of electrons, so the electrons are going over to the silver. So is it the silver solid that's gaining the electrons or the silver ions that's gaining the electrons? So the silver ions have lost one electron, so it must be the silver ions. So the silver ions are undergoing a reduction reaction, which means that the tin is losing the electrons. One of these is losing the electrons. The loss of electrons, oil, oxidation is the loss, means that one of these is losing. So which one of those is losing the electrons? So this means 4 plus, that it's lost 4 electrons already. This means it's lost 2. So if this lost 2 more electrons, it would become that. So this is the one that's losing the electrons. This is the one that's undergoing oxidation. Okay, so if you put these in order, we always put the chemical that gains the electrons on the top of the electrochemical series. So the chemical that gains the electrons, the chemical that undergoes reduction, we put that on top of the electrochemical series. Okay, so I'll show you the results of the other half cells. And have a think about how would you put these half cells in order. So we've got the silver on the top above the tin at the moment. So I'm trying to find the mouse. There it is. Okay, so you should have put the silver above the tin. Now when you look at the silver and the, my mouse keeps going. When you look at the silver and the lead, and over here, the voltmeter is pointing this way again, which means the electrons are going from the lead to the silver. So this is undergoing reduction. That's undergoing oxidation. So the silver is above both the tin and the lead. The silver, what do we call chemicals that undergo reduction? If they undergo reduction, then they're an oxidizing agent. So the silver is the strongest oxidizing agent, and the tin and the lead are both weaker oxidizing agents. So the big question is, this is higher than both of those when you put them in order. So which one of these is going to get the electrons? Which one is the stronger oxidizing agent? So if we have a look down here, we've got the lead and the tin, and over here, the voltmeter this time is going in the right direction. So the tin is getting the electrons. If it's getting the electrons, then one of these is a stronger oxidizing agent than the lead. So we would put the tin in the electrochemical series above the lead. So now you should have the silver, the tin, and the lead in order. So when you write the electrochemical series, you need to write those reactions as reduction reactions. Okay. So I haven't had a chance to change my PowerPoint. It says oxidant. We're using the word oxidizing agent. So if we put them in order from the strongest oxidizing agent, we're going to put the silver on the top. If we write them as reduction reactions, then the silver is 1+. It needs 1 electrons to make silver metal. And we already discussed, and hopefully you had written down, the 4+. If you gain 2 negative electrons, 4 positives, 2 negatives, it becomes 2+. The lead 2+ plus 2 electrons becomes lead solid. Okay, so if you check your data booklet, make sure that this is correct. So can you find those reactions in your data booklet? So we're going to do a prac next week where instead of silver, tin and lead written and you being able to check the data booklet, I'll give you half cells with A, B, C and D. So you have to do exactly the same thing, get the voltmeter, link it up, see which direction the voltmeter goes. It's pointing towards the half cell that gets the electrons. The one that gets the electrons you put on the top. It's has the strongest oxidizing agent. So you need to put them in order with the strongest oxidizing agent on the top, write them as reduction reactions, and make sure if you've got a chemical that has 4+, 2+, that sort of chemical, or if it's a non-metal and you've got a molecule and an ion, make sure that you put the molecule and the ion on the right side. So remember, another way of checking which side to put your electrons or which side to put your charged compounds, the overall charge should balance on both sides. So the 4+ and 2-, if we have 4 positives, 2 negatives, overall on this side there's 2 positives, which balances the 2 positives on the other side. So you're going to practice that next week.